go. Welcome back to another episode of the Squishy Sports Podcast, giving you my NRL Preliminary Finals review. Just the two games on the weekend. We are heading to the big dance now this Sunday. And as I always say, guys, please, if you do like what you see, please give me a like and subscribe. Give me a follow on all my socials as well. Trying to post it as much as I can every day while I'm working full time as well. But the likes, comments, they go a really long way in my algorithm. So if you can, please give me a like. Please give me a follow and subscribe. Really goes a long way, especially just starting up my channel. And also giving you my NRLW Preliminary Finals review as well as we head to the big dance next Sunday, all going down next Sunday. Next Sunday, we will have new premiers in the NRL. The Panthers Dynasty of 4 in a row. 5 grand finals is done, has been put to an end after just under 1,500 days. Just one of the best, most insane runs we will ever see in the National Rugby League, in my opinion. I don't think I'll ever see another team in my lifetime, in this century at least, go 4 in a row. Just going back to back is fucking hard enough. Just to make back-to-back grand finals, it's just to go 4 in a row, to make 5 grand finals, we'll talk about the Broncos a bit later, but the fact that, it took that effort by the Broncos to put this, essentially dynasty to an end is insane. And, don't get me wrong, I did not have the Panthers making the grand final pre-season. Probably thought the losses of, Luai and just the other losses they were having we're going to start to sort of catch up. And, Papali'i, he left as well, went to the Tigers. I just thought some of those were going to start to catch up with them. Don't get me wrong, they got Blaze Talangi in, that sort of thing. But we now have our grand final sorted after 27 rounds of NRL football, after qualifying finals, after elimination finals, after semi-finals and preliminary finals. We are down to 2 teams left in the comp. The Melbourne Storm and the Brisbane Broncos will go head-to-head for the Provan Summons Trophy next Sunday around sort of 6:30 at a core stadium in Sydney. Home field advantage for absolutely no one. This is going to be an absolute belter. You've got the 2023 finalists who lost to Penrith, and you've got the 2024 finalists who also lost to Penrith. So you've got a rematch of the 2006 grand final where Brisbane Broncos beat the Melbourne Storm 15-8 in that one. Darren Lockyer, he was a feature in that one. Just some absolute legends in that game. We're going to look at this game, I think, in sort of 15, 20 years' time and talk about the legends that appeared in this game. Guys like your Adam Reynolds, guys like your Payne Haas, your Reece Walsh, your Patrick Carrigans, Jerome Hughes, Munsters, the Pappenhausens, the Harry Grants. Just immense. This should be an absolute belter of a game. And for me, in my opinion, it's just really refreshing, I guess, to see. I know the Storm are featured in so many grand finals, but it's just refreshing to see a new sort of new premiers, you know what I mean? I have so much respect for the Penrith Panthers and what they have done. You can't have nothing but respect, but it's just, as I said, it's insane to see. For most of my life growing up, I didn't even see back-to-back premiers. That didn't happen until 2018, 2019 with the Roosters, and now all of a sudden Penrith Panthers come along with Nathan Cleary and Ivan Cleary and win 4 on the trot. And 5 grand finals in a row, and they were this bloody close to making a 6 grand final in a row and 5 premierships in a row. Absolutely insane. And obviously the Broncos, they've got a huge in. Their lock or their forward, Patrick Carrigan. He's going to be back from suspension next week. A massive, massive linchpin in this team. He is huge. He's literally he's a future Queensland captain in my opinion, a future Australian captain in my opinion. Just immense. He is a huge in. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be off 3 weeks off. Last game he played was against Canberra, which would be 3 weeks ago, come next Sunday. It's got all the storylines ready to go in the papers for this belter. I don't really know where it's going to go. Storm of open favourites, 2.5 point favourites, total of 40.5. I think it could be a bit of points in this game from what we're seeing, just how good these attacks are. But going by what we saw on the weekend as well, these defenses are ready to go. They are happy to put up a fight for as long as they bloody need to. And that's what these two teams brought out on the weekend. All right, I'm going to start with the Storm and the Sharks game, which was on Friday night down in Melbourne. We also had a Friday, and we also had a Sunday prelim this year, which is a bit unusual. I did kind of miss like a footy game, like a final game on that Saturday night. I get it, AFL Grand Final Day, Valandis, let them have the whole day. That Sunday was absolutely epic though. Just the scenes at Suncorp, like for me, like I live in Brisbane, best rugby league stadium in the world, absolute unanimous, non-negotiable. I've been there for big Broncos games, semi-finals. I've been there for Queensland Origin deciders. The atmosphere, you just cannot beat it. And the atmosphere there, I wasn't there. It looked incredible, absolutely insane. 52,500 would have been there, and it's just crazy. And I would say most of them will be flocking down to Sydney this weekend to go watch that grand final. It's just going to be an absolute belter. I cannot wait. 6:30 Sunday night, these two teams going at it. They only played sort of 6-7 weeks ago, and that was a very famous game where like Storm won, but that's only because Reynolds and like Ezra Mann both got injured in the same play. So, as I said, I'll start with the Storm and the Sharks game. Storm getting the win to advance to the grand final, 22-14. Another grand final under Craig Bellamy. This guy's record is just absolutely insane. 16-8 to the Storm at halftime. And I get it. Like, Iro scored that try at the end for the Sharks to make it, it was 22-10 before that. But bloody hell, like, it seemed a lot sort of closer than it sort of seemed, right? Like, this game at the start was absolute doozy. These guys were absolutely flogging each other, absolutely flogging at each other. They came out with extreme pace. They were not afraid to move the ball, both sides. It was clear for me to see what the Storm intent was in this game, and that was quick offloads, quick ball to your wingers, but they absolutely thrashed it down the right side. They absolutely thrashed that Sharks left-hand defense, where you've got Mulatalo, you've got Iro, you've got sort of Teague Wilton there as well. They absolutely flogged that Sharks left side, and they were able to have a little bit of success there as well. As I said, these two teams came out so eager, which it's pretty expected to see in a preliminary final, but just seemed like they were both ready to go, ready to, like, it didn't have almost like an origin feel, but bloody hell, it was fucking close in my opinion. Like, we're 5 minutes in, these guys are bashing each other, and they go straight left, like the Storm. Again, an early line break with Coates. That led to a dropout, and that dropout led to a Warbrick try on the right-hand side. Just a beautiful movement. Nick Meaney, he beat Iro one-on-one, which you don't generally see. And he was able to get around and put Warbrick over. Like, both these teams completed 87% completion rate, which is a very high tick. It was very similar in the second prelim as well. Like, if you're gonna, like, win these games, you have to have a solid completion rate, in my opinion. Defense wins premierships at this time of year is one of my favorite sayings. Defense will always win premierships, in my opinion. I will say the Broncos are a tiny bit different. I'll get that into a little bit later. What I will say is I thought straight off the bat, I was like, forward pass. There's a forward pass. There's another forward pass. I'm not sure if, like, Ashley Klein saw these forward passes or not and just thought they were sort of flat and to let them go because it's a prelim. But bloody hell, I thought there were some very flat to forward balls in this game, particularly, like, as I said, that Coates line break to start. I thought that ball for Munster, it was an absolute peach. I thought that floated forward for sure. But there's so many key players for the Storm in this win here. And you've got to start with the halves. Jerome Hughes, absolutely insane. The Kiwi number 7, coming off a broken wrist 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Like, it's just mind-boggling. Like, I cannot fathom to think how you can recover from a broken wrist that quickly. Yes, he played with, like, a sort of casting around his arm, but it looked like he never had a broken wrist at all. He just looked completely fine out there. In my opinion, the Sharks should have sort of gone at him a little bit more in defense and tested him, but attack-wise, he just looked like he didn't miss a beat whatsoever. Had that awesome try, that second try by the Storm there. It was a sort of break, sort of a really good hard run by Uto Ikamanu, got the offload away, and he was able to use his footwork and speed to get under the sticks. Even that put down was a little bit difficult. He's sort of landing on that arm as well, that wrist. Just not effective whatsoever. Just so bloody gutsy. And God, it's just crazy what these athletes and these players can do. But Jerome Hughes, I spoke about it so many times like in this podcast. He is such a linchpin in this attack. And when he's back, it just seems like everything comes together. Like sort of, I'm not saying like people like to only will play better, like only play well because he's there, but it just links so much better. Like first thing I think was literally like green lines in a FIFA Ultimate Team, just all going towards Hughes. You get 10 chemistry all around you. Like everyone just seems to thrive off the attack on Jerome Hughes, and he just leads the kicking game and leads the attack so bloody well. And as I said, the other half, Cameron Munster, what a bloody year he has had. Another grand final appearance for Munster, two-time premiership winner in 2017 and 2020, lost in the grand final last year, and now he gets to make amends in another grand final. He also lost in 2018 as well against the Roosters, gets another shot for a third premiership trophy. And I said, he's had an immense year, particularly being captain of Queensland, and he led them to a Origin winning series in the decider, despite all like the stuff that he had going outside of that as well. What a guy! Like, it's just unfathomable. It's just crazy. And he had 193 run meters, and he had 20 runs. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen Cam Munster live. I wasn't there for this game, right? I've been fortunate to see him live before, and you've just got no idea what's coming next. And it's just, he could be 1 meter, 2 meters from a defender, and completely, like, a defender can completely miss him with his sidestep. It's just, he's a complete talent, complete natural. Looks like every time he gets the footy, he knows exactly what he do. I don't think he even knows what he's about to do, but he can't predict it. The opponents can't predict it. And to have 193 run meters and 20 runs in a preliminary final is just like, I can't get over it. Like, and he was such a big impact on this team. Just a huge impact. Going back to Hughes, I say he scored that try. He also had eight tackle breaks in this game. 8 of them. Just like these two together, it's just one of the best halves duo easily in the comp. Obviously, you've got your Blaze and Cleary. You've got, like, we had Brown and Moses from Para. We had Strange and Fogarty. They were awesome this year. You've obviously got Mam and Reynolds when they're on. You also had Walters and Hunt. They were awesome as well. Like other combos, like Brooks, DCE. You've got Harris, Tibian, and Metcalf. Like, these are all superior combos in the comp, in my opinion. But these two just seem to take it up a notch every single bloody time. And like as I said, the Storm scored relatively early in this game with Warbrick 6-0 up. Oh, sorry, it was 6-0 up, I believe, or 4-0 up. And I thought, if the Sharkies are a chance to win this one, they probably had to score first and get this momentum going down in Melbourne, sellout crowd, and they didn't. And I was like, I don't know. How's Hines going to go in this situation? All credit. He bounced back straight away. They got pretty much the next set that they had on attack, it felt like. I believe it was it Nick Meaney that came out? Sorry, Jack Howarth. He came out of the line. Hines was able to get it Kennedy. Kennedy sort of double pumped, which brought Howarth right out of the line. He was able to spread it straight across the Sione Katoa to get over the line. It was back to 4-4, just like that. Game on, which was awesome to see. And then, as I said, that second try with Hughes. Uto Okamanu, he has been, I feel like I talk about this every single week. Since Origin camp, I get Bellamy was in that camp, but he's just taking it up another level. In like first year with the Storm, and it just every single game, it looks like he's getting better and better and better. And we know with first year players at the Storm, particularly a forward, it's all about you focusing on your defense, improving your defense. There's no missed tackles, just work hard, get in the middle, get in the grunt and just fight. We'll work on your attack in the later stages. it's already happening. And like I thought his first 20-minute stint was absolutely immense. This whole game, he had 46 minutes. I think he had 15 runs, 140 meters, 4 tackle breaks. He had the offload to Hughes. He had the assist to Hughes as well. Just absolutely outstanding performance by Stefano Utoikamanu. He gets so much credit. He was such a key piece in this forward battle, coming up against Adam Fanua-Blake, coming up against, Toby Rudolph. He went off early, but just like Tom Hazelton as well, just absolutely immense. He was so good for Melbourne in this game here. But it felt like it was sort of end to end. It was an awesome game. Like Sharks, so Storm went back up 10-4 in this one. And he thought, okay, Storm, they're not afraid to sort of pass it around like Harry Grant. He was on. They were going right all the time. It looked like they were about to go 16-4 up as well. And what happens? Nico feeds a little short ball to Billy Burns around the sort of the halfway mark. He kind of gets through. He gets his mint offload to Ramian. He's through. He's able to spread it to Katoa for a second try. Bang. In the corner. Game back on. Hines, he had a few missed kicks in this one, but that was back 10-8 in this one. Game on. It was a fight for sort of the end of the first half, and then this piece of magic. I don't want to say this is like the game because Sharks did get pretty close in the second half, but man, if this was 10-8 at halftime, completely different game in my opinion. 1 minute to go almost. Last tackle. Cam Munster, yet again, sees Kennedy is pushed up in the line with the Sharkies there. They're like 30 meters out. Puts in this little dinky chip and chase. Pappenhausen is able to break through, kick it through, able to regather it, score under the sticks. Just like, what the heck? That is the type of final try you want to see. It's backyard footy, but that's the type of things you got to expect from the Storm. Just add the footy. And that's why I'm so bloody excited for this game next Sunday, because you've got 2 attacking teams who can play some of the most insane attacking footy and some of the most ad-lib footy you've ever seen. You've got some insanely talented players, and it's going to be a great spectacle. But as I said, 16-8 to the Storm at halftime in this one here. And it was a good contest to start the second half, sort of, good hit-ups, back and forth. Sharks are holding on. And then it was sort of around 20 minutes ago. Sharks get a penalty, sort of like 20 minutes out, right? I don't want to. It definitely wasn't a turning point, felt like, but they went for 2 to make it sort of 18-10. Oh, sorry, 16-10 in this situation. Back to a converted try margin. Like, I don't mind it. I didn't mind it at the time, but then you look at what the Broncos did when they were 8 points down against the Panthers. They had the same opportunity to go 6 points behind, and they went for a try. We know how the result panned out in that one. They went for the 2. I can let it slide. Back to a 6-point game. Game on. I'm pretty sure the next set, Sharks got a penalty out of their own half. They get down, and you thought, here we bloody go. This is the opportunity. Nico, where is Nico? Get Nico the ball. This is his time to shine and put the Sharkies through to level the scoreline up. You probably thought they've got to go left with Iro and Ronaldo, and just some, like, Teague Wilton was there. I think Billy Burns, he was playing awesome as well. Brendan Nickera was starting to come on as well. AFB, like, all these sort of talented players are ready to go, and Nico just cold dropped it inside the Storm 10 meter. Like, just cold dropped it. Wasn't even looking at the ball when he caught it. And I don't like bagging out this guy because he cops so much criticism during this season. People were saying he should be dropped. People were saying he should be coming off the bench. People were saying he should be playing lock. Like, lock? What? You can't be expecting a guy like Nico to be making 40 tackles in the middle of every game. Like, he's an attacking specialist. He was a fullback at the Storm. Like, he was a reserve fullback. Now he's over that running 7. Very similar to how Jerome Hughes was. And I think I am such a team Nico guy, but he just missed the mark just a tiny bit. Like, Jerome Hughes was clearly, in my opinion, the elite 7 in this game here. And that was just such a pivotal point, and I think. And Sharks had a prime opportunity to make this 16 or at least 16-14, and to drop the ball like on your second tackle, just a complete let off for the Storm. And Storm just held on, and they held on, immense defense, and then bloody Harry Grant 5 minutes to go on the halfway line, fifth and last for the Storm. So you think, like, don't get me wrong, he had the two best hookers going in this game, Harry Grant and Blake Brayley, two of the most informed hookers at the moment, right? And like, I thought Blake Brayley was awesome in this game too. He had a couple little moments here and there, but Harry Grant, like, he just has so much class. I think he's the best hooker by quite a distance, in my opinion. No disrespect to Blake Brayley at all. I think he's a clear second, but Harry Grant is so clearly the best number 9. And for him to notice that on the right side of the Sharks defense, there's plenty of space, the tired legs, instead of just giving it to Hughes or Munster to put a big bomb up in the air, he just gets the ball and run. Kind of like his touch footy, right? Like, you try and just kind of get far as down the field as you can without getting touched. And if it's a turnover, it's a turnover. You trust your defense. But for him, that instinct, he didn't second think. He just picked it up and just went. Duck left. He passed it to Katoa, not Katoa, but Sean Bloor. He was able to get it off to Jack Howard from there, and then he was able to get it off to Xavier Coates to score in the corner, put the seal on the deal in this one here. But as I said, fair play to the Sharkies. It was 22-10 after that one, end the conversion, but it was down. Sharkies scored right in the hooter to make it 22-14, but what a player. Like, it's just absolutely unreal to have a situation like that where you've got just a 6-point lead. Like, you're too far back to go kick a field goal for 7. Would have been the 2-pointer. You could have just taken our dummy half, kicked it into touch, and have a defensive reset. Get everyone on the line ready to go. His first instinct is run, and that's what I absolutely love about Harry Grant. His first instinct is to run the ball, and that's exactly what he did. He literally created that last try, and he was such a pivotal point at other moments in this game. Just absolutely insane. But in regards to the Sharkies, like, you've got to hold your head high. As I said, the effort was there. They had their chances. 2 prelims in a row now after struggling. Like, they've been at straight sets in previous years or lost a finals game. They've won a finals game 2 years in a row now. And you might be thinking, yeah, but, like, look at their team. That's just not good enough. But, like, in my opinion, like, look at other teams that have been successful in other leagues, you know, at prior points. Like, they've made, like, you got to have that more and more experience, in my opinion, to get there. Like, Panthers were sort of in a similar boat, I thought. Like, they lost the grand final before they won 4 in a row, right? You've got to lose one or lose a couple before you get there. I had Sharkies in the grand final in my preseason. I would not be shocked if they go one better next year and they are very close to making a grand final. But, like, I do have a bit of a soft spot for the Sharks. Like, I do think, like, I really like Nico. Like, Trindle's going to be there. Looks like he combined really well with Nico. Blake Brayley, he's awesome. He's probably going to be playing for Australia at the end of the year, which is awesome. My only thing, and this is no disrespect to William Kennedy whatsoever, he had that assist to Katoa for that first try. They're just missing that X factor. Just that little bit extra X factor where defenses don't have to focus so much on Trindle and Nico that they have to have a look at, oh shit, here's this other fullback. Like, you've got Liam Eisen obviously coming through. I think he's going to be an awesome talent. He's coming off an ACL. Just like, you look at previous premiership fullbacks, and your Tedesco's, your Pappenhausens, your Dylan Edwards, all have been sort of in the Origin talks or have played Origin. And, like, Kennedy's not going to be an Origin player. He's just, you kind of, like, sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's cold, but is he really going to be a player that's going to take you to a grand final and be a big impact in the grand final? I'm just not quite sure. So, it's no disrespect to Will Kennedy. I think he's had an awesome year. Like, we were talking at the start of the year that he might not even be the starting fullback in Vegas, or not long after if he had a bad round. Like, he played trials, which was unusual. He got the starting job in Vegas, but he's kept it the whole year. He had Kade Dykes. He had Liam Eisen coming through. This guy was under pressure. He still pulled through. I still think he had a very solid season. But if I'm being completely transparent and honest, You look at the other team and how loaded it is with your Mulitalos, your Katoas, your Ramians, your Eros, like your AFBs, like your Blake Brayleys, your Nicaras, I think is awesome. Teague Wilton, he's had an awesome year as well. Billy Burns coming through. Cam McInnes, he was injured, but he's been immense as well. Talakai off the bench, and the other guys like Chesley Colquhoun coming through as well. Like, there are some immense talented players in this team. They're a stacked team, just missing that one key piece, and I just think it is their fullback in the team. But I said, massive shout out to the Sharks. They put in an awesome effort, I thought, down there. It was all against them, I thought. I talked about the refereeing with the forward pass before, but Ashley Klein, blow a penalty, why don't they? Or a half, holy dooly. Just, what was it, 23 penalties in this game? I think there was 11 in the first half. Craig Fitzgibbon in the press conference was blomming up about it. I get it, yeah, they lost. It's not an excuse, but he has every right to say that, because even I was watching it and I was like, oh, come on, man. Another one? Just let the boys play. Let the balls in play for 24 minutes in the first half out of a possible 40. That's not where NRL's heading. We've done so many rule changes to NRL with the scrum clock and the dropout clock to really improve how much the game is put into play because of the fitness of the game and how tough it is, but we want to make it tougher. But in this, for 23 penalties or something in the game, it just seemed a bit absurd. Apparently, Grant Atkins, he's going to be refereeing the grand final in this one here, which I don't mind. I thought he was okay in the Penrith game, but yeah, all credit to the Storm. I thought got the job done in this game. They were awesome. The favourites in the grand final for a reason. The favourites to go win the premiership again under Craig Bellamy for a reason. It's going to be a cracker. They're going to have pretty much the same sort of team that they played with last week. I don't think there's going to be any sort of changes. Sean Bloor, he was back in starting. I think it's going to be very, very similar. As I said, massive shout out to the Storm. First team advancing to the grand final in this one. All right, second game. Holy motherfucking shit. I have gone on how many times this final series back. This was felt like the game of the season. Broncos versus Raiders a couple weeks ago. It was probably one of the best games I've watched, and this was very, very close to it. Broncos defeating the Penrith Panthers 16-14 to end the 4-year premiership run for the Panthers, stopping them from making a 6th grand final in a row. And it was not easy. It took a monumental effort by the Broncos to win this one. And it's not like they were leading the whole game. They were down 14-0 at halftime in this one. Very, very close to being 18-0 or 20-0 to start the second half. Where do I start in this game? I'll just start with the first half. These two teams are absolutely flogging each other at the start, which is great to see. The intensity was clearly there. The Broncos crowd was up and about. And then, as the Panthers do, they just sort of get into gear. Death by 1,000 cuts just started putting the pressure on. I think Broncos may have an error. Early on, Panthers started 10 out of 10 the completion rate. They go right, and the man, pretty much of the whole playoff Paul, he scored another double. He scored the first try of the game. He scored the first 2 tries in this game, sorry. It's just insane. From where he's been, I've said it the last few weeks, he scored in the grand final last year. He started in Vegas this year. He started for the first 6 weeks and then started to struggle. He got dropped to New South Wales Cup for pretty much the majority of the rest of the year. Gets brought back in with sort of 4 or 5 weeks to go in the regular season. He's been such a key part of this attack. Such a key part. Way more than anyone would have ever thought. Ivan Cleary made the huge decision to play Alamotti over the Milky Bar Kid Jenkins in that final against the Warriors. And it's just proven so correct by an absolute million times. 2 tries, as I said, 25 runs, 257 meters. He was just immense in this game. Just him against Karapani seemed like a bit of a mismatch, and it was a little bit in my opinion. He was just unbelievable in this game. Shout out to Bizzer as well, getting the job done. Once again, 24 runs for 211 meters in this game here. yeah, as I said, Panthers, they were 6-0 up after 15 minutes and just slowly started to grind down the Broncos. And like you had Reynolds back, you had Ezra back for the Broncos. And if I'm being completely honest, at halftime when it was 14-0, I'm like, you know what? I'm not shocked to see the Broncos being on 0 points at halftime, considering how good this Penrith defense is, considering Reynolds' first game back as well. And it's kind of been one of those things. The Broncos haven't lost since Reynolds and Mam got injured. They've had Hunt and Walters in the halves, and they haven't lost. And it completely unlocked Walsh in a way, and their attack has looked awesome. And I did have a worry that even though Reynolds is the captain and their best 7 naturally, that he actually might, take away a little bit from that Walsh a little bit. But took a little bit for him to get going. But he was awesome in this game, Adam Reynolds. Just absolutely immense. And the fact that the Panthers were able to keep the Broncos to 0 points at halftime, the Broncos threw so much at them in that first half on their goal line. They must have had a good 4 or 5 sets, not in a row, but just really good opportunities to score against this Penrith team in the first half to make it a closer margin at halftime. It was 14-0 at halftime. And what I'll say about this 14-0 mark is since 2020, the Penrith Panthers have been 98-0. I'll just repeat that. 98-0 since 2020 when they've had a lead of more than 12 points. 12 plus. So this fits into that category. Any other time they go 99-0. Literally 1 in 100 times, pretty much, not even, now it is, but 1 in 100 times will a team come back against the Panthers when they're down 12 points or more. It's just insane, just crazy. And got to talk about, my man of the match. And you're not going to talk about the flair of this game. Payne bloody Haas. It just, this guy, man, absolutely, it's crazy. It's unfathomable what this guy does. Played the first 40. Panthers fully attacked him right, destroyed. He had 30-something 2 tackles at halftime, only 40 meters or something. Madge kept them on the whole of the second half, and he looked battered and he got bloody at the end there. And just the fact he finished on 20 runs, 182 meters, 82 post-contact meters, 46 tackles for 0 missed. Just absolutely insane stuff. Just crazy. He's in a league of his own, in my opinion. I don't think if a Noah Blake, I don't think a Mitch Barnett, I don't think a Moses Leota, I don't think a Fisher Harris compares anywhere near, or a Terrell May. I don't think they compare anywhere near to these guys, whatsoever. It's I don't know what's in this guy's body, but the fact he just has the motor to keep going and going in a preliminary final when the going gets tough to put up 80 minutes, 20 runs, 182 meters. And it's at 82 post-contact. So let's say 20 of those runs for 100 meters. He's getting 5 meters. He's getting hit. And then 82 he's having 4 post-contact meters per run on average, which is just mind-boggling. I think he had 4 offloads in there as well. I can't get over it. It's just insane. Both teams had an awesome completion rate. It was literally 86% for the Broncos, 85% for the Panthers. But this second half, literally from the get-go, Dean Mariner drops the ball cold inside their own 10 meters. Penrith have a set to almost, I'd say, clinch it. Considering where the Broncos were a couple weeks ago, I can understand they come back, but Panthers had an awesome chance to go 18-0 up or 20-0 up in this game. Would have been done and dusted. 6th grand final in a row appearance. And they just didn't quite capitalize. But you know what? All credit goes to this Broncos defense. They've struggled. It felt like all year on defense. They've let in plenty of points. It felt like, they let in 28 to the Raiders a couple weeks ago. They let in plenty against the Dolphins in a game, I remember. The defense has not been their strongest point whatsoever. They've had to come back plenty of times this year. I think 6 times now they've come back from double digits. To keep the Panthers to nothing in the second half, when you got your Cleary, your Edwards, origin players I'm talking about, just Liam Martin, Brian Toto, it's just insane to think about, really. And I said, absolute all credit goes to them for that defense to not just hold out Penrith for the whole of the second half. But then to score 16 of your own, to come back and win this game, absolutely immense. And like, I think a lot of this credit goes to Michael Maguire, Madge in this situation. Whatever he said at halftime, like, just said, you know what, just play your style. Like, we're a second half team. How many times have we come back from deficits this year? Seemed like plenty. To have the ability to score 3 tries in 10 minutes, what we saw in Canberra, they've done it plenty. As I said, they've done it like 5-6 times this year. They've had a big deficit of over 2 tries and come back and win. And as I said, to do it in a situation like this, packed house, your home crowd, prelim final against a 4-time premiers, oh God, like, what do you say? And it all started, they got a little bit of momentum, all started with a Reynolds kick into the in goal with Stads getting it. That made it sort of 14-6, despite Reece Walsh nearly missing the kick. And then sort of hanging on, and then like, again, another turning point was 14-6. They get a penalty. They could have just gone for 2. Could have just made it 14-8, similar to what Sharkies did on Friday. But they had all the momentum. The crowd was back into it, had all the momentum, just kept pressure and pressure and pressure, and it prevailed. It was like, in the end, sort of 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, Ezra puts a kick in, gets deflected. It was a lucky deflection. Wilson picks it up, goes under the sticks. Bang. It was game on from there. Get it. Reece Walsh had an absolute shocking conversion kick from there, which kept it at 14-10. Like, and would have been interesting because, like, 14-12, like, your first mentality in this modern game is 2-point field goal, right? Especially with 9-10 minutes to go. I think a lot of teams' first thought is 2-point field goal. And setting up for it, like, you've got to have the ability to kick a 40-meter field goal plus, or do you trust yourself and go for the try? It was kind of one of those situations, and I was listening to like Bloke in a Bar podcast this afternoon. Shout out to those guys; they are awesome. And that it was saying, like, it was kind of like a good thing that Walsh missed it because they were 4 points back. They had no other choice but to go score a try in that last period there. They kept the pressure on. And again, they gave it to Reece Walsh in the moment that mattered. They sort of double teamed him, triple teamed. They thought they locked him up. He was able to get this offload out. I don't know how he did it. To the side, one bounce into Mariner's hands. He stepped a couple and in the corner there. Crowd goes absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. I've been there at Suncorp when, like, a home crowd goes absolutely bonkers and nuts for a team. I was there for the Benny Hunt charge down kick in Origin Decider. No, it's like the atmosphere was just crazy, and it all came down to one moment, and that was Adam Reynolds. Reece Walsh goes, nah, Adam, you're the captain. You take the team this one. I've shanked pretty much my first 2. This is your moment. And you think 4 years ago, the Panthers' first premiership, when Adam Reynolds was still at South Sydney, they score a try in the left corner to go 2 points back. Adam Reynolds has a conversion 2-3 minutes to go to lock this game up. Left sideline for a right footer, right post and in, but he missed it. And that was not a reason they lost it, but they lost by 2 in the end. And he had his redemption moment. On the other side, his non-preferred side, this was his moment. He absolutely slotted it. It didn't even look like missing for 1 second. Puts his hand up in the air and says, let's bloody go. We've got this. And the crowd went absolutely apeshit once again. There was 3 minutes to go after that. 16-14 to the Broncos. Panthers, they did have a little bit of a chance at the end. They just kind of fumbled it. Edwards ended up taking the 2-point field goal attempt. Was no good. Broncos win this one 16-14. And, like, geez, just what a game. And, like, there's so many standouts. As I said, Payne Haas was awesome. But as I said, I thought Ezra, he was quite effective when he came out. Reynolds was really good with his kicking game. Stags, as per usual, his last sort of 3 months in this comp, he's just been taking it to another level, which we know he can. It's just a shame we don't see it like all year because he's an Origin caliber player. I think he's going to be playing center for the Kangaroos in the Ashes at the end of the year. Would not surprise me whatsoever. I think he deserves to be there. His intensity, how hard he plays, how hard he runs, always breaks that first tackle. Like, he's so good to watch. And I said, you've got Reece Walsh there now as well. I thought he was really solid as well at the back there. Like, just so many standout performances. I thought Jordan Ricky, I thought his tackling was immense in this one as well. They went absolutely all day to that Broncos sort of right edge in that game as well. And they just held out and held out and held out. Kept Brian Toto out, which is really good to see. Kept Tungo out. We know how talented he is. Like, obviously, they lost Sorensen early on, Panthers, like the 3rd minute to HIA. He's, like, usually on the left there, so had to sort of make do, but, like, the defense was such a key factor in this one. I said, kept the Panthers to no points in the second half in this one. Thought Cleary, like, I thought he was really solid in this first half, and then I'm going to say he went missing in the second half. I just thought probably could have just polished it off a little bit better. And I'm not sure like if that's the correct meaning, but it's almost kind of like the whole of the last 5 years sort of caught up to them in one half. They had to do a lot of sort of felt like good defending in that first half. It just seemed like Broncos being a second half team, Panthers mainly being a first half team. Like it was, as I said, it was game over last week in the first half against the Doggies. What was it? 36-6 at halftime. They 14-0 up at halftime, and they just looked like a little bit tired in this one. And look, we'll talk about this very quickly. Like, Liam Martin should have been sin-binned 100%. For him to run over 20 meters and like clock Ezra in the head a little bit, like Cleary could have been binned as well. Like, and the fact that we look at Hudson Young, he got binned for like bantering with a player like a couple of weeks ago in that final, to that. Like, I just don't know. Like, someone should have been binned, in my opinion. I get it. It's a prelim final. Let the boys play. But, guys, just have some consistency. And I'm all for it in the grand final, to be honest with you. Like, have a little bit of niggle. It's a grand final. Like, ref it similar to how an Origin should be. But if it is a sin bin, put him in the bin. Like, it is still the rules at the end of the day. It didn't change anything. I thought Liam Martin, he was quite poor in this game. I think, in my opinion, becoming a little bit overrated. I get it. He's been a champion player. He's made Origin teams, but I don't think in the last couple of years he's had as much of an effect as he had in previous years, especially at Origin level as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the Australian team looks like in a few weeks' time when they go over to England. But yeah, just wow, what a game. I can't believe it. Like, the Broncos, they beat the Panthers. They got their revenge from 2023. They've stopped the Panthers Dynasty. Like, it's done. Like I said, the Dynasty, couple definitions. Like, they went back to back to back to back. But they could still win next year, which should be 5 comps in 6 years. They could win. They could still go back to back, 26 and 27. Then that's 6 comps in 7 years. Like, Blaze telling me he's going to be second year in this attack. You got IPAP, second year in this attack. You've got, like, obviously Jenkins is still coming through and he's getting good experience. Like, you've still got really talented players in this team. And, like, yeah, like Lindsay Smith, he's probably going to be in the test squad at the end of the year. He's awesome. You still got Moses Leota there. You still got Isaiah Yeo. Like, there are some immense players on this team. There's no reason why they won't be back there next year. I get it. They started slow this year. They'll literally last after 12 rounds. I spoke about last week. And to get it to a prelim final and be that bloody close from making a 6 grand final in a row from where they were, was just like, yeah, incredible. I have so much respect for a team like the Penrith Panthers. But at the end of the day, the Brisbane Broncos are the talk of the town. Caxton Street was going ballistic, absolutely ballistic, and so they should have. Dancing all over the show. The crowd they were just stoked. It's one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen. And it's going to be such an intriguing matchup next week now. You got Walsh against Pappenhausen. You've got Munster against, it's probably going to be Ezra. Like, Ezra, last grand final they played, scored a hat-trick. You've got Reynolds coming up against Hughes in this one. 2 completely different sevens. Reynolds looking to make amends from 2023 and 2021, sorry. Like, I get it. He's won a premiership, but that was 2014. That was 11 years ago. Same coach, Michael Maguire. I think I kind of like the Broncos in this matchup. Why do I like the Broncos in this matchup? Some people are saying it was their grand final just gone. I can get it. But I think a big factor is how close they got 6 weeks ago down in Melbourne when Reynolds and Mam both got injured on the same play down there, to show the guts that they've had in this last 6 weeks. I think Madge has a huge part of that. And I'm looking at this as like, who would you rather sort of coach the New South Wales team? Would you rather see Bellamy, who hasn't had too much success, or would you rather have someone who has like gone to Game 3 decider last year for New South Wales and won in Brisbane, like, which hasn't been done in over 20 years. He was a New Zealand Kiwis coach as well, who beat Australia 30-0 2 years ago. He was a premiership coach with the Rabbitohs in 2014. He finished 9th with the Tigers, like, might not seem a massive achievement, but compared to where they have been the last 5 years, huge achievement in that one there. Like, he's won a Super League with Wigan as well. Like, he is a champion premiership coach, and I think they're going to make amends from 2 years ago. I think there's a lot of sort of like revenge ready to go boiled up inside them. I get it. The Storm lost a grand final last year. One of these two teams is going to be losing either back-to-back grand finals or 2 grand finals in 3 years. So, like, there's just so many storylines in this one. Like, you got Payne Haas against Utoikamanu, like the 2 New South Wales forwards going at it in a grand final. You've got Trent Loiero, the Queensland lock, who started at lock into the decider, against Patrick Carrigan, who is usually the Queensland lock, who is off the bench. Those two are going at it in each other. You've got like Xavier Coates at one wing in against sort of Karapani, who's just an up-and-coming talent as well. You've just so many elite matchups. Like, is Cobbo going to be back? I don't think so. But like Stags against Howarth, like another Queensland versus New South Wales matchup. That is going to be such a good watch as well. Does Ben Hunt start at 9? Like, Queenslander against Queenslander in the 9s. Like, you know, and that was literally a Queensland halves pairing for how long? Like, Ben Hunt and Harry Grant working with each other. There's just so many good storylines in this game. And honestly, I would like to see the Broncos win this one. Break their premiership drought of 19 years. The city deserves it. The city is all about rugby league. Brisbane is all this rugby league nuts in this country, right? And they've had the success of the Brisbane Lions just on the weekend gone in the AFL. You've also got the women's side there in the grand final as well. You've also got the Burleigh Bears, the theatre team, are in the final there as well. It is all set up for the Broncos to either like completely win it all or completely lose it all. I think they're going to be good enough. I think they're going to win this one. And it's going to be an absolute doozy. I cannot wait. As I said, 6:30 next Sunday at Accor Stadium. Just some absolute legends on the field going at it and going at each other's throat in this one here. Melbourne coming off 2 more days rest. They get a little bit less attention down in Melbourne, being an AFL state. All the attention is on the Broncos at the moment. They've just knocked off the 4-time premiers. They've just knocked off the 5-time grand finals in a row. The best team in history, in my opinion. They've knocked off the New South Wales 7, like the Australian 7. Like the New South Wales fullback, and like one of the best coaches we've ever seen. And it's going to be super interesting. I would not be surprised to see Storm up at halftime in this one, and then Broncos once again claw themselves way back into this game. But as I said, the talk of the town, Broncos coming back from 14-0 down in this one to win it 16-14 in front of the packed house at Suncorp. Broncos versus Storm for all the glory in the 2025 National Rugby League Premiership. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. All right. Going to NRLW. We had our 2 preliminary finals on the weekend just gone. And we know the results of these 2 as well. And the grand final, as pretty much predicted most of the season, these 2 powerhouse teams will meet each other in the grand final for all the glory. That is the Brisbane Broncos against the Sydney Roosters. Broncos have lost 1 game this year, which was against the Roosters in round 3. That was 30-26. Roosters are undefeated, the 12 from 12 this year. And it's going to be a cracker. Broncos are open favourites in this one, so a little bit opposite to how the Storm are. Similar odds, just completely flipped, which I find interesting. But this Broncos team is absolutely stacked in this one. These ladies, they play it before the men at 3 p.m. So this is going to be such a good spectacle. If you are traveling down to the grand final, if you are a Broncos fan, get down there if you can afford it. Like, get down there. If you already live in Sydney, get there. Like, get to the gates early, 3 p.m. if you can. Watch these ladies go at it. Like, this means so much to them. And then for them to have a big crowd, it's only going to make the NRLW bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's what these ladies deserve. We see how much success the State of Origin ladies has had with a 3-game series now. And now we've got the 2 best teams in the whole comp going at each other in the grand final for all the nuts and bolts. All the glory is going to be awesome. And the first prelim that was on the weekend, Saturday night, the minor premiers, the Roosters, beat the Sharkies 17-16 in this one. The grand finalists from last year. What an absolute thriller this one was here. Roosters, I believe they led 10-4 at halftime in this one. And, I mean, it all started by the Roosters kicking out on the full, straight out from the kickoff, which was very unusual to see. They calmed themselves down a bit. 10 minutes in, they went left, spread it left, and Fressard scored in the try in the corner for the Roosters to go up 4-0 in this one. And then Sharks kept persisting. Like, if you weren't sort of keeping track of the NRLW, Roosters were like minus, 12.5 point favorites in this game. They're literally like $1.18 or something. They should have been winning this one, like, quite convincingly when you think about it, for a finals game, being the better team. This Sharkies team fully turned up, and from the position they were in, all credit goes to them. They were able to reply. They had a beautiful try with Brooke Anderson. She ran this mint line, pretty much under the sticks, barged over, make it 6-4 to the Sharkies. And then I thought this was the dagger blow for the Sharkies in this one. Olivia Kernick, the grand final hero from last year. What a performance. I'll go through her stats soon, but she scored just before halftime in this one to make it 10-6 in halftime. She played the whole match in this one at lock. 26 runs, 245 meters, and 75 post-contact meters in this one, and 37 tackles. Honestly, that is easily good enough for my Women's Player of the Week. I'm just looking at it now. I've just made that decision on the spot. Olivia Kernick from the Roosters gets my Women's Player of the Week for the Scooshy Sports podcast. We've had a few NRLW players before. We've had Julia Robinson. We've had Tamika Upton. Now we're going to the Roosters. Olivia Kernick. What an absolute beast. As I said, the grand final hero from last year, to play 70 minutes in the middle, to score a try, 26 runs, 245 meters, 75 post-contact meters, and 37 tackles. A preliminary final winning effort by Olivia Kernick in this one. She was just immense in this one. Such a key pivotal role for the Roosters in getting this win for them. So massive shout out to Olivia Kernick from the Roosters, getting my Women's Player of the Week for the Scooshy Sports podcast. I also want to give a shout out to Tiana Penatani-Gray, the center for the Sharkies in this one. She was awesome. She had 22 runs, 244 meters, 81 post-contact meters, and 8 tackle breaks as well in this one. And this game was still, it was 10-4 at halftime. Roosters scored in the 50th minute to make it 16-4, and you thought, you know what, they're the minor premiers for a reason. This game is pretty much close to done. Nah. Sharkies kept holding on. In the 66th minute, they get a line break down the right side, and the fullback for the Roosters, Parker. Sorry, I'll go back to what the Roosters built for. Carlisle, she scored to make it 16-6. Even the next set, Kelleher kicked a 40-30, which was insane. So even more pressure on the Sharks, and they held them off there. And then late in the match, 13 minutes to go, they get the opportunity down the right side, make a line break. Parker, the fullback for the Roosters, holds on too long in the tackle. Bang. Sin bin, 10 in the bin, which is a huge momentum shift. 12 on 13 for the last 13 minutes. For the next 10 minutes for the Roosters. The Sharkies managed to score off the next set straight away in this one. So straight away, 16-10, 10 minutes to go or 13 minutes to go in this one were set up for pretty much a grandstand finish. And it almost felt like the next set, it was a couple sets later, the Sharkies, they level it with Kiria Ratu, and it was an awesome try as well. Awesome put down, just a massive, huge, bulging run. Just so good to see. That made it 16 apiece. 16 apiece from where we were, 16-4. That yellow card changed everything in this game. And then the Roosters halfback, Kelleher, kicked the winning field goal with like 3 minutes to go in this one. Still a woman in the bin as well to make it 17-16. Parker came back on, made it 13-13. And what was really interesting for the Sharkies, I'm not sure they've got a proper field goal take in this team, but like they had a chance to go for a field goal, in my opinion. They actually decided to run it and go for the try. And it nearly bloody paid off for them. There's it looked like it's carnage near the end there with the ball bouncing everywhere. They nearly got the winner at the end, but the Roosters escaped in this one, 17-16, 12 from 12 this season. They advanced. First team to make the NRLW Grand Final. And the next one, this game was played before the men's Broncos game, and that was the women's Broncos team getting the win 30-6 against the Newcastle Knights in this one. And honestly, it was game over after 25 minutes. Like, I can imagine these Broncos ladies would have been super nervous for this one. Massive home crowd still coming in to watch the boys, and you've got a grand final appearance like ready to go. Like, it felt like no pressure on the Knights, right? Like, what have they got to lose? They're the underdogs going up to Brisbane. Like, Broncos, everything to lose, right? Stacked team, everything. And Broncos they just absolutely killed them and scored a try early on with Jada Ferguson. Like 3 minutes in, it was 6-0. Shout out to the kickers in this game as well. There's obviously Romy Teitzel. I'm so sorry. Don't forget the other person who took the conversions. They went 5 from 5 combined, which is awesome to see. Kerry Johnson, she scored a double, which is immense. It was 24-0 after 25 minutes in this game. And yeah, it was pretty much Gonskis. Like I said, 24-0 after 25 minutes. Not a lot of time left for the Knights to sort of come back against a team like the Broncos. But like, you know, Kerry Johnson, her first try was off a botched drop kick in the Knights sort of shadows in that right corner. The third try, though, was probably the try of the match, in my opinion. Gail Broughton, she gets a little line break. She's able to flick it off to Tamika Upton. She just uses her pace to go around the fullback and under the sticks. She's just unbelievable. In my opinion, she should be getting the Women's Dalian Player of the Year. I'll be absolutely shocked if she doesn't. She's had an incredible year, and it feels like I also give this lady a special shout out every single week as well, and that is Julia Robinson. She has been a Player of the Week for me before, and she just keeps doing the damn bloody thing every single week. As a center, 23 runs, 266 meters, 10 tackle breaks. She made just one run. She made a clean line break. She must have palmed off like 4 ladies in it, and like they were able to nearly score off it as well to like make it sort of 30-0. And it was just incredible. Like, she is just an absolute beast. She runs so bloody hard with the ball. So good to see. Fair play to the Knights. It was 24-6 at halftime. They were able to score out dummy half just before halftime. And they battled and they battled and they battled in the second half, but they just weren't quite good enough to sort of put up enough points. Broncos scored another try at the end, sort of make it 30-6, put this game away. Broncos winning this one 30-6 at Suncorp Stadium to be the second team to advance to the NRLW Grand Final against the Sydney Roosters next week. They've won 11 from 12 this year. One loss was against the Roosters, so they get their revenge in the grand final to make amends. And as I said, these two teams are the powerhouse teams that completely deserve to be in the grand final. And as I said, the Broncos open up favourites in this one, which is really, really interesting in my opinion. Roosters were there in the grand final last year. They won it. He was the grand final hero. And yeah, now they're back in the big dance again. Broncos have got literally their women's side, their men's side, and their Q Cup side in the final, which is incredible for them as, like, you know, not expected, but good to see, I guess, for a Brisbane town. Speaking of Cup finals, I want to give a special shout out to my Warriors, New South Wales Cup team, getting the win in the New South Wales Cup Premiership final on the weekend. They beat the Dragons, I think it was 30-12 in that final, and now they play the Burleigh Bears for literally like your whole cup final on the weekend on Sunday. They play before the women, so it should be like a triple header. If I can watch that, that should be awesome to watch as well. I really hope these Warriors New South Wales Cup boys get up, because they've absolutely blitzed it through the whole regular season. They had a slip up in the first round of finals to the Eels, I think. They got their revenge in a couple of weeks later, and they now won the New South Wales Cup, which is awesome. Awesome to see, like the second grade, and now they've got it all to essentially be the best cup side in the country. So New South Wales Cup champions against the Queensland Cup champions, the Burleigh Bears. They now play each other at a core curtain raiser to literally be, as I said, the best cup side in all of Australia. It should be an absolute cracker. Tanner Boyd at 7 for the Warriors there. Really quality team, as I said, for that Warriors team. They've absolutely blitzed it. So massive shout out to my boys, the Wars in that one. Up the Wars. Come on, boys. Get the job done. But as I said, the main focus is going to be on these other two matches. The NRL Storm and the Broncos going at it, and then the NRLW, the Broncos and the Roosters going at it as well. We will have new premiers in 2025 for the NRL. Broncos beating the Dynasty, defeating the Dynasty. It is Dunskies. Massive shout out to the Panthers, so much respect for them. But that will do it for my NRL preliminary final review and my NRLW preliminary final review as well. Also, a little bit of chat about sort of grand final preview in that one as well. But as I always say, guys, please, if you do like what you see, please give me a like and subscribe. Give me a follow on all my socials as well. Trying to post it as much as I can every day while I'm working full time as well. But the likes, comments, they go a really long way in my algorithm. So if you can, please give me a like, please give me a follow and a subscribe. Really goes a long way, especially just starting up my channel. But really, really appreciate you guys watching. I will have now sporting news coming out tomorrow for you, and I'll also have my Red Zone report for week 5 coming out on Thursday morning as well. And I'll also, I think I might do a grand final preview this week, little special this week. I'll see how I'm going. That might come out on Friday morning. And then I'll have my grand final reviews coming out this time next week for you as well. That'll be the last sort of NRL episode for the year. I may talk a little bit of Ashes when I can, but I will be digging in a little bit more into the NFL season as well. We obviously preview it weekly. I'll now start reviewing it weekly as well. 14 to 16 games a week should be absolutely epic. But as I said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.